Hey, it's May 7th. This is Neil, and I'm going to just show a little bit about the info.json API endpoint and how that relates to just the main video endpoint, Barto. So, how this also relates to the creator expose and all that stuff. When you're viewing attributes on info.json, so in this case, we're looking at, I'll just do an await get v. If you see, so this is like the full, if you do a get without info.json, you'll get everything including info.json, right? And you'll notice I'm skipping the single character properties. The single character properties are baked in. You can't change those, so I didn't bother showing them here. And those have fixed meanings based on the actual file itself rather than the contents of it. So B, bytes of the file, D, the last modification date, T is type, just simple stuff like that. Also, similar to previous endpoints, if you want to delete something, you can set it to null, and this merges it. In the back end, the null merge causes it to go, okay, this thing doesn't exist anymore, it's been deleted. And if you want to set something, you are just setting a string value, right? Because you're doing a post, and there's some magic in the back end that detects certain types of values. So if you look at something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can tell as long as it can represent it without modification, then it will translate it to a native type. So in this case, an integer type. And so again, you can specify null, which deletes it. You can specify a number, it translates it to a number, and you can also do Boolean values in the same way, and they'll get translated to the constants true and false. Again, this is only if that value can be represented without mutilation as a non-string. So that way, so if you pass in yes, we're not going to translate it to Boolean true. It's going to stay the string yes, because otherwise it's going to change how it can be represented. So looking at info.json, this you can no longer do a get and a put using signed URLs. It uses its own endpoint. So again, if I was to await on this, that gives me the modified info.json, which may or may not hide creator, owner, and other email address and security attributes. You can also do get directly on info.json, which is totally legal. And if you're the owner, you will get all of the information, all the properties, but not necessarily unobscured. As an example of that, if we look at some of these responses, in this case, I've elected not to expose my email address. So if we get that, so I'm going to show getting that info.json of the response, you'll see that I can get all of the keys, but I can't see who the creator is. And likewise, if I do a get without just info.json, so I can see, the reason that you would do this is so that you can get all the information about the jobs and other assets associated with that video object. You get the same info.json here, so creator's been hidden, so you can't see the respondent's email address, but you also get all of the data. You just might not be able to, again, see specific email addresses. And finally, you cannot put to info.json anymore. It will simply give you an error. If you need to change some data, then you would just do a post. And like I showed previously, the post is very simple. It's just post to the endpoint with key name equals property value, and that's how it will set it inside the info.json on the back end. And so hopefully this helps out. Ciao.